better.
I really feel like, oh, who do we got in here now?
Oh, you have the Hut here.
No way. Are you Comic Book Hut?
Yes, I am.
Oh, how about that? I've never seen your face before. I like your disguise. Welcome, Comic Book Hut. You are the other newbie in the chat that I want to introduce to everyone. Let me just explain. If you are somebody who listens to Mark Levin on the radio, no, Comic Book Hut, don't take this the wrong way, okay? You might take it the wrong way. I don't know. You're a masked man. I'm not sure what to think. If you like Mark Levin on the radio, he is the Mark Levin of comics. He sounds just like him. He's got the same kind of inflections, and he's so much fun to listen to. Again, like some of these new Comicsgate channels that are coming up, the YouTube critics, these are guys that did kind of, I think, come out listening to Doug Ernst and Captain Cummings and your boy Zach. Yeah, they're really going off in their own directions. Nobody's trying to, this crop that I have here, nobody is imitating anyone like any of these other voices that we already have. They're all brand new. They're all original. And the fresh perspectives that are coming from them are absolutely fantastic. So welcome, Comic Book Hut. Comic Book Hut, what do you think of this body positivity movement in comics? Books like Faith, et cetera, et cetera. What does that mean? What is it for? What is it doing?
Well, I've been thinking about this today, actually. This whole thing, it all goes back to this, all goes back to feminism. They have these 4 tropes. I'm not going to go into all of them, but one of the things they sort of denounce is this idea of beauty. And because they denounce that idea of beauty, they want to break down the things that we all have these standards for. And because of that, they push these things on everybody. Now, Diversity in Comics mentioned this the other day, that superheroes are supposed to be super. Everything they do is exaggerated. So now all these creators are denouncing all that and basically trying to take it apart. So, but also what they want to do, and it's one of the things I've been thinking about, is all these different eras of the comic book industry that started in the 30s and then went to the 50s. To where you have the beginnings of the comic book industry, which was Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, and then we went to the Barry Allen Flash, and then it goes into the Marvel history of comic books. What they want now is they want it to be the final version of comic books. That's why they keep talking about progressivism from those original characters, that this is the end game. Do they know that once these books are put out, that's the end of it?
That's the end of comics. Antonio, what do you think of all that?
Not so much the end of not so much the end of comic books, but it's the progressive end to it. That these stories will be the last stories, and that these stories will go on forever. That progressivism is the end game. And that, that it's not about the individual anymore. All these characters have all been about the individual. But what they want is they denounce the individual. So what you have is just about the group, about how you look, how you talk, and what you believe in.
That's right. Mike Jenkins, thanks for $1.99. He calls you the cheese burglar. He said the cheese burglar dropping science. Well, it's not the cheese burglar, it's the hamburglar. But yeah, you didn't mask. It's a little hamburglery. Antonio, what do you think of body positivity in comics? What is the purpose of it? Why are they doing it?
Well, I don't know. I've thought about that a lot, actually, because I actually didn't reveal the fact that David was a big fat guy for a while. And then we, as we went along and, and started creating more of the character development art and stuff like that, then people started to see that David, he turns into this big hulking guy, but he's a fat guy. He's a fat guy. He's a beekeeper. You know what I'm saying? So he's just a fat, nerdy guy. And then he turns into something, it's like this big alpha male type character. So I kind of wanted, I wanted a guy that looked like me. I've talked about, different issues I've had as far as weight. And, I wanted to be myself turned into like a big alpha male type character. So that's
So
why
the guy changes into something else. Like he starts out like heavy, but he becomes like Shazam.
Yeah, David, he's like say about 5'9", 5'10", and he turns into this big hulking brute of a, look like a big fullback football player. That's so all the promotional art that we've shown shows David in the like transformed version. But that was something that I didn't want to reveal at first.
So why do you have him transform into that kind of body? Like, why don't you just keep him the same?
Because I mean, it's just, it's like he's a regular. He has his normal identity. That's his normal secret identity, I guess, and then he would transform into this other guy. And obviously, I'll have some plot points that kind of tie that up, because there's things in his past, and let's say that someone might be looking for the alpha version and not realize that the person that they're looking for is actually very close to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, and also, see what you've done is you've taken the Shazam, Captain Marvel archetype story. Superheroes are supposed to be power fantasies. Okay, it's like this is the difference between what these SJWs are doing to comics, and what comics traditionally are. I mean, superheroes are supposed to be aspirational. They're not supposed to reflect the sad world that we live in and the sad state of our own affairs, as much as they are supposed to say, hey, we can be better. Wouldn't it be better if we could do this and that and this and that? So the idea of having a character who is hefty and who is able to transform into something that's better is a superhero fantasy. It's a power fantasy. It's appealing to people. Books like Faith, I'm not sure who they're for.
Well, see, that's what I'm getting at, is the fact that with Faith, she just stays the same. She doesn't really transform. Whereas you're saying that, your character does transform. And so I was curious, like, the mindset that you were thinking of with doing that,
It's awesome.
When you were describing this transformation, I was thinking about the Hulk and Bruce Banner. And, of course, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's very similar.
I mean, that's the thing. It's all, it's all like the Hulk was Shazam all over again. I mean, it's people who are weak in one way, because we're all weak in some way, who transform into superheroes. And that's the thing. I was watching this thing that I think Umbrella Guy put out about Lion Forge Comics, and Gail Simone is involved in this. So, it's going to be great. Lion Forge Comics has some good ideas, but then again, they're not pitching them in a way that, they're not pitching these comics to people as power fantasies, escapist fantasies. They're pitching them like, you'll be a good person if you buy this comic. Like, our hero has Down syndrome. And he's, wow.
And if you don't buy it, then you hate them all.
That's right. Like, why don't you like Down syndrome people? Well, I do. They're nice. I just don't like. I'd much rather read like something like Warhammer 40K. I'd much rather read something badass and cool that takes me out of my own limited circumstances and makes me feel makes me wish that I could do that. Like, I don't know if I want to read a comic book, no offense, about somebody struggling with Down syndrome and yet being heroic. It's a noble thought, but it's not going to sell comic books to people who are buying comic books for pleasure or fun. It just isn't. And that's something that these guys, these weirdos, these SJWs are going to have to learn. Welcome Art T Bear to the chat. Hello.
Hey guys, ladies.
Hi.
I want to introduce everybody. We've got 951 people watching now. And the reason why, I called this chat Comicsgate Live ? Because as you all know, Comicsgate Live, exclamation mark ×3 is dead. It's dead. And yet, I do want to use this particular show to introduce a bunch of new kind of, I call them all new Comicsgate Junior, new young voices in comic book criticism, and hopefully eventually creation. I mean, it would be great if they wanted to actually branch out and write comics. I know Sweetcast is thinking about it. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, it's coming. I'm writing right now.
All right. Sweetcast is totally awesome. His channel is insightful. I mean, honestly, good clickbait titles, and he's focused on making comics better, making Comicsgate better, making it work. Really good criticism, really good ideas. You should subscribe to Sweetcast. Absolutely. And then we've got Comic Book Hut, who is one of my favorite new channels. I love Comic Book Hut.
Thank you.
It's great. I don't want to see your face though. Click off. I wanted you to be a man of mystery. It took me so long to see Mark Levin's face, and I just liked his voice so much, and your voice is similar. Zach told me this a while ago. Comic Book Hut. Now, Ava, this doesn't apply to you, but it applies to all of us guys. Okay. Zach said, nobody wants to look at a guy. And I said, what do you mean? I didn't know what he meant. He's like, it's gross. Nobody wants to look at a guy. I mean, unless you're extraordinarily, like, unless you're Brad Pitt, nobody wants to look at a guy. I said, oh. He's like, yeah, just use your voice. You know, you can use your thumb. Don't use your thumb, Ethan. I said, I have to. So I got stuck with that. I mean, you guys can see my mutated, deformed toe thumbs. But for the most part, yeah, like, just being a voice is way more powerful than being a face. But girls, absolutely. Girls should definitely show their faces at all times.
Well, this is my first live stream I've ever done with anybody.
Click the camera icon.
Okay.
Click the camera icon and turn it off, and let's see what your logo looks like. There you go. All right. Now, Hut. Now you are the Hut. You are a man of mystery. You know, you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to do anything like that. You can stay anonymous and just be your voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So subscribe to Comic Book Hut. This guy is funny. I would love to see you get over 1,000 subscribers. I think you're on the verge right now of doing that. If you, where are you at anyway?
I want to say I really appreciate you inviting me on here. I know that you'd asked me about a month ago or 2 months ago, whatever it was, but because I was using my phone at the time, I hadn't used my computer. I just want to thank you for inviting me again.
No, dude, you're going to be invited all the time. So, you know, get used to it. And it's my pleasure. I like I said, I'm enjoying your content. It's really helping me work. And it's kind of, the thing about it is, Ava, and by the way, everyone subscribe. What is your channel called?
It's Comic Girl Ava.
Comic Girl Ava. Is Comic Girl one word or 2 words?
Yeah.
One word.
Oh, it's just one word, I believe. I don't even know.
Look up Comic Girl Ava and you'll find her. Star Wars Junk says this is offensive and sexist. I'm off to talk to Amanda Ward. Ew. All right. So now I just completely lost my train of thought, which is weird for me because usually my train of thought is right on the rails. It usually is. Anyway, everyone subscribe to Comicsgate or Comic Girl Ava. That would be great. Now, here's what it is. Here's what I was trying to say. We're so used to the same voices over and over again. I mean, you know, people do listen to Doug Ernst and they listen to you know, diversity in comics and all of this, and we really do need to encourage young voices to come in and with new ideas. We do. Comicsgate is a philosophy. It's not a community. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to kill these people who talk about Comicsgate being a community.
Yes.
I'm going to get a machine. I need a big Tommy gun like Stan Lee talked about. Line them all up, mow them down.
The trebuchet.
Yeah, the trebuchet. That's right. All right. Yeah. In any case, we need young, fresh voices. So subscribe to Comic Girl Ava. Subscribe to Sweetcast. Subscribe to the Comic Book Hut. Is it the Comic Book Hut?
Yes, the Comic Book Hut, and I am the Hut.
And you are the Hut. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.